Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming together at this last moment to pay tribute to three particular horrible events that have taken place. The reason why we have tied together these three events, last week the Aurora, Colorado movie massacre, a few days before the terrorist attack on Israeli tourists in Bulgaria, and the murder of 11 Israeli athletes in Munich, Germany, some 40 years ago, for we see the connection between them all. You actually can connect the dots. They all have one thing in common. The word is evil. Evil is evil is evil. Whether perpetrated by a group or an individual, it has one thing in common, and that is evil. The desire to kill innocent human beings, to ultimately deny the divine image that exists in each human being. And during these difficult times, we must pause and reflect. And we're going to present a moment of silence, first dedicated to the 12 people who lost their lives at the Colorado movie massacre. Our hearts go out to the grieving families and our best wishes for speedy recovery to all those who are injured. Let us remember that even as the masked gunman kept firing a hailstorm of bullets at the Colorado movie theater, acts of selflessness and heroism sprouted from all across the room. 3 of the 12 people killed died while shielding their girlfriends from the gunfire, and a young woman risked her life to aid her wounded friend, refusing to leave her side. And to quote the President of the United States, "Such valor is very inspiring, for it represents what is the best in us and assures that this darkness, after this darkness, it will be transformed into a day, into a brighter time." So we here on Long Island want the community of Aurora, Colorado to know we are thinking of you. In a few days, the world will be watching the opening ceremonies of the London Olympic Games. The Olympics were founded with the goal of placing sports at the service of promoting a peaceful society intended to bring people together in harmony. The opening games this year comes with a dark memory of what happened 40 years ago in Munich. It is hard not to recall when 11 Israeli athletes and a policeman were killed by terrorists at that time. The victims' families for the past 40 years have made one specific request: to hold a moment of silence at the opening ceremonies. Turning down this request fails to recognize that this is not an internal Israeli matter about political posturing or revenge. It's about doing justice to the memory of 11 men who came in peace and went home in coffins. The purpose is to acknowledge that this horrific slaughter is grieved not only by Israel alone, but by the entire community of nations. That day needs to be remembered at this year's ceremonies for no other reason than to demonstrate one of the basic principles of the Olympics is to promote peace and to preserve human dignity. Silence is a fitting tribute, for silence contains no statements, assumptions of beliefs, and requires no understanding of language to interpret. So while the International Olympic Committee continues to reject this moment of silence at the London's Olympic curtain raiser, we here in Mineola would like to express, through a moment of silence, our dedication, our love to those 11 Israeli athletes, to show the world that the massacre at Munich Olympics in 1972 was indeed a blight on the world. Please also have in mind during this moment of silence the 6 victims of the recent Bulgarian terrorist attack against Israeli tourists in Bulgaria. At this time, I'd like to call upon, if the senator here, then we'd like to call upon our cantor, Cantal Fight 11, beloved by our congregation, to share some songs of reflection, and then we're going to be asking the following to light the candles, Mr. Harold Schwartz and Carol Danofsky, and then we'll and also to read the names as well. Cantor, please come forward.
Eile mole rachamim, shoyechein meroimim, hametzei menucha nechoyeno, ale kanefei yashechino, במעלויס קדושים וטהורים כזויר אורקיה מהזהירים נשמויס of the Israeli athletes victims of terror in Munich. The group of Israeli tourists victims of terror in Bulgaria. The victims of Colorado massacre. Sheholechu leyoylomo. Bavur shemishpechoiseihem enodvu tzedoko beyad hazeko boras nishmosom megane yeden teheyem menuchasom Lochein abal rachamim yastireim beseiser kenofov leyoelomim v'yitzeroi rebitzroi rachayim es nishmosom Adoino yehu nachalosom v'yonuchu al mishkovom b'shalom V'noy maromein Imesh kochech Yerushalayim Tishkach, tishkach, tishkach yemini Oy imesh kochech Yerushalayim Tishkach, tishkach yemini Imeroles Yerushalayim Al roish simchosi Es Yerushalayim ale roishim chosi.
We'll be hearing from the cantor at the conclusion. At this time, I'd like to read the names of the victims of the 12 victims in Colorado movie massacre, continued by Harold Schwartz from Bulgaria and Mr. Nofsky of the 11 Israeli athletes. These are the names that we remember from Colorado: Aurora, Jessica Gowie, Veronica Moser Silverman, Matt McQuinn, Alex Sullivan, Mikala Medic, John Larimer, Jesse Childress, Gordon W. Cowden, Jonathan T. Blunk, Rebecca Ann Wingo, Alexander C. Teves, Alexander J. Boyk.
The 6 victims of the Bulgaria terror attack: Meir Harosh, Eloah Price, Amir Menash, Kochava Sheriki, and Mustafa Koyosov.
The 11 Israeli athletes murdered 40 years ago at the Munich Olympics: David Berger, Zev Friedman, Yosef Gutfreud, Eliezer Halfin, Yosef Romano, Amitzur Shapira, Gerhard Shor, Mark Slavin, Andre Spitzer, Yaakov Springer, Moshe Weinberg.
Let's have a moment of silence. So we gather to mark these painful events, for each loss has created a painful void for family, friends, and nation. We must stand as one in our grief, for after all, our country, our value system is under attack. We must not falter in the defense of what we aspire to: freedom, human dignity, and mutual respect. We must turn tragedy into triumph. We cannot allow those who wish to destroy us to be successful. Let each and every one of us find ways to add in positive acts of goodness and kindness, of charity and of prayer. We conclude now with a cantor with songs of peace, Ose Shalom, followed by God Bless America.
Ose Shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimramav, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with flowers. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, everybody. We now continue with Mincha. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Sorry? Okay.
Very tough.
Yeah, sure. Till 3. Till 4.
So, okay, no, we'll drop it off so you see it. You'll have it.
We want to make sure we have a minion for Mincha, so those gentlemen. Yes, you like the candle?
Familiar?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't forget. I always
They're blowing out.
always say.
You like it?